All right, y'all. We kind of got a crazy one today. This is going to blow your mind. I think we're on to something. And I want to thank you as a community because this is how we made it happen. Okay. So I'm chilling out. Follow me. I'm chilling out. This is yesterday. Hanging out with my wife. We're watching little Ali Sadiq. I don't know if you know that cat. He's funny, right? Check him out. Good stuff. And this is after we made the video about the Scorpion Breaker event. Okay. So watch my wife and I watched a thing. We said, hey, we're going to watch another one because dude was kind of funny. So get up a little bit, grab me a drink, little popcorn, hit the bathroom, stuff like that. And so then we got a second. I decided to go ahead and look at the comments on the video, right? See if I can reply to a couple comments because that's what I do, right? Reply to a couple comments. So while that's happening, we get hit back from Mario. So Mario hits us back and was like, yo, man, appreciate the video, yada, yada. Again, we appreciate him. He's part of the channel, but he said, hey, you know, the information he gave showed that he's actually part of the military, he's part of the Navy. So we're going to go ahead and switch that avatar up, right? Make sure we're putting him in the right spot. Appreciate your service. So we'll do that. And then we had BC, who was also like, hey, man, can we do something with my avatar? But I'm like, bro, he wants that 420 thing, man. But like, I got kids, right? I got kids, grandkids watching the show, man. We can't do the 420 the way you want to do the 420. So I'm thinking maybe we should do like a little homie thing or maybe a little Woodstock thing. I don't know what suits your fancy better. While we're doing that, see, it just because we took a little time doing that, I was in the comments a little bit longer, and then we saw a comment from Aaron. So Aaron dropped this comment saying, hey, do you think that this might have something to do, talking about the breaker, right? The requirements in the breaker event. Did you think this might have something to do with the Eternals, right? I was like, cool, man. Yeah, it probably does, and I like thinking about that stuff. So I was asking, well, who do you think is going to be there? Who's going to be on the team? And we went back to watching Sadiq. So I wasn't thinking a whole lot about it at the time. Got up today, and I think Rage dropped a video talking about, oh, look at all these dudes, all the stuff, right? The picture that was in the background from the Vision video, all the stuff that got checked off, and it made me think, man, yeah, bro, they did indeed say Eternals, right? They did indeed say Eternals would be completed, right? So if that's the case, who's going to be on the team, right? That's the question. Because if we look at the trait, Cersei and Icarus were standing right there staring me in the face. I missed it at the time. They're both mystic cosmic, so they're staring me in the face. So is that the opportunity to bring them in? But who's on the team, right? So if we're talking about Marvel Comics, if you're a comic book fan, you're talking about Marvel Comics, there's 100 Eternals. Like 20 of them are prominently shown, right? There's some offshoot guys, but it's like a good 20 of them, man, that are main characters. So, I don't know. Who do we pick? If we're talking about comics, I don't know. It could be a lot. We could dial it down a bit if we're talking about MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I said, hey, let me check it out, right? So I went back today, this morning. That's what I was doing. So I started watching the movie, maybe watch the first 20, 30 minutes when they're introducing the characters to try to get a feel for who's, in the movie. There's still like 10 cats, right? Let's be honest. There's still like 10 of them. So who would come to the game? Who would come to the game if they're going to make a team? I got my predictions. How are we going to narrow this down? If we got 10, how are we going to narrow this down? Well, let's go with what we have and contrast to get that against what we need. So what do we have? Well, we got Cersei and Icarus. And Icarus is a blaster. Cersei is a controller. And Marvel Strike Force doesn't always do this, but if they use all 5 roles, you got a blaster, controller, you need a brawler, and a support, and a protector, right? So those are the 5 roles. They don't always use all 5, and they don't use them the way we think they're going to use them. But let's just assume they're going to need all 5, okay? So we already got 2. We got a blaster and Icarus. So then we need an up close and personal. We need a brawler. So for that, my pick would be Makari. I think Makari would be a great pick. She's awesome. But I don't think that's what they're going to go with in the game. Now, why do we say that? Because I think if they're going to go with somebody, they're not going to pick another speedster. And that's a letdown, right? We just got Quicksilver Symbiote. Already got a speedster, so I don't think they're going to bring another speedster that quick into the flow. So that leaves Thena. Now, that's not bad, right? I like Thena. Thena's good. That's Angelina Jolie's character. So I think that she would come to the game then and she would be the brawler for the team. I think that would make sense. All right. So then let's talk about support. Okay. We're talking about support. That could go a lot of different ways. It kind of depends on what you're defining as support. What does that mean in the game? So if we keep it super simple, we're just going to say this is a healer. Okay. We'll just say it's a healer. Keep it super simple. And there's only one person who demonstrated healing abilities in a movie, and that was Ajax. So Ajax, that's Salma Hayek's character. And again, I wouldn't even have known this. I wouldn't even thought about it if I didn't go back and look at the movie, because it happens real quick. She's healing people like, okay, she's putting hands on, she's healing. That's pretty dope. Ajax is a dude in the comics, in the adaptation for MCU. Salma Hayek, great actress. It's a lady. So we'll probably bring her into the game as well. And then that leaves our protector. Okay. So our protector, check this out. Protector, wait for it, Hyperion. So let's go with Hyperion. He's already in the game. He's a protector and he's in Eternal, right? So he fits all that. And it makes sense. It makes sense because they just had the Century event and we got those diamonds for the characters. We got the Century event, got the diamonds for the characters. And that would, to me, again, that makes sense. Cause I'm like, dude, who needs Thunderbolt diamonds? Like, I don't know if anybody needs them. The characters aren't right. They're there, but we're not like using them for anything else. We don't need them to get super strong. People that are coming from behind, if they have them, then they have them. But the diamonds really aren't going to change the flow of the game. So it makes sense that, hey, if you're going to have a Century event and put diamonds out there, then you got an opportunity for people to roll for that 5-diamond Hyperion. And when I introduce the diamonds for Century, then it just makes it even sweeter. However, probably not the right move because I remember seeing Century while we were looking at it, while we were doing the video. I remember seeing Century. I remember calling him out, but I forgot he doesn't have a right trait. He is a cosmic bio. And the other two, Icarus and Cersei, are cosmic mystic. So it wouldn't be the right trait. So it's probably not then going to be Hyperion. So then we pivot back to the movie. And I think I'm going to have to go with Gilgamesh, right? I think I'm going to have to go with Gilgamesh. Mr. Don Lee, right? He's got a Korean name as well, which I can't pronounce. I was trying. It's not going well. So we're just going to go with Don Lee. Thank you for picking an English name for cats like myself who need to brush up, get a little bit more culture. We'll work on it, see what we can do. But I think he's the pick, man. He always was kind of standing in between whoever was in trouble in the movie, whether it was the regular people or other Eternals. So I think that he's the pick there for the Protector. So that's my pick. So I think that's what's going on. I'd like to know what you think about that. And what grouping of characters do you think will be coming to the game? Now, here's the part that's actually crazy, though. I don't even think if this is real, right? I don't know if it's real or not. Nobody told me anything. I have no idea. This is just coming out of us in the community, right? Coming together, talking about this. But here's the crazy part. I don't even think that would mean that this team would necessarily be the next team. Because they kind of, right, they're coming into that specialty node. And if we flash back to the Silver Surfer Breaker event, we flash back to that, the symbiotes came out like at the end. So this is like month 2, month 3, and officially the Symbiote 6 hasn't even had the free-to-play release yet. But it helped give people some symbiotes for those symbiote nodes who hadn't, right? If they're coming to the game later and they don't have symbiotes built up the same way some of us do, maybe they only could get a Venom, maybe they got Null, and just those two cats by themselves, right? That power boost that they got was enough to build something to get through, and they could, ratchet the difficulty up a little bit more and get a little bit more reward. So I think that something like that is still going to happen. So if there is an Eternals team, it might be coming out like 2 or 3 teams away from now. Maybe we'll see it at the end of Scorpion Breaker and just in time for whoever the next round is, whoever the new breaker is. So that's the thoughts, man. That's the thoughts. I want to know what you think. Are we on to something here? Do you think there'll be different characters coming to the game? They said they were going to finish the team at some point anyway. So if they do, which characters would you like to see? Who do you want to see on the team? I made my picks. We made our prediction. Take care of yourself and your family. Peace.